Do we have a duel in store for you? The Final Four battling for 2 days, and finally, we are at the semis. Crowd, are you ready for this semis match? All right, let's get things rolling. We begin with the blue chair. Aditya from Plano, Texas. He won NAWCQ and told us he is hungry for another title. Now to the red chair, Manuel all the way from Switzerland. And his favorite food is pizza, especially pepperoni. All right, everybody, let's get this semis match started. Are y'all ready? I love the enthusiasm. All right, casters, take it away.
All right, thank you so much. That's right, we have the NAWCQ champion himself from this past year, Aditya, taking on Manuel from all the way from Switzerland. There's actually two players from Switzerland. They're both friends that play tested together, and they both made it here to top four. Have a chance to face each other in the finals, but it's not going to be an easy path. Manuel's going to have to get through Aditya and his Mermail Atlantean strategy, and if he draws like he did the last time we saw him on the feature match stage, it's going to be really tough.
I mean, yeah, this is a matchup that he's not only familiar with, he's played it on the last feature match that he had.
Yeah, and it was not a close one. It was a tidal wave of destruction from Aditya, really showing you why the Mermail landing strategy is a viable one here in this format. But of course, Raziel has been the deck to beat for months now. We're going to have to see if his deck choice is going to pay off for him. As we mentioned, he is a champion. This is going to be our first semi-finals match. We're going to be showing you both top four matches. That's right, you're going to get to see all of the glory on the way to the finals, and then we're going to find out which one of these four remaining players will become a YCS champion. We do have Aditya, who is an NAWCQ champion, but none of the players remaining have won a YCS previously, so either way, we're going to have a new YCS champion.
We have a chance of having a zero Raziel final as well, or potentially an all Raziel final, so we'll have to see how the matches end here.
I mean, yeah, we could have Atlantean Mermail versus Goblin Memento. That would be quite interesting. When Goblin, this Goblin Bikers, you know. Maybe you're not as familiar with those cards, but there is a Goblin Memento that you can search. There's some synergy between the two strategies. And we saw how Pascal's using those two themes to work together to make it here all the way to the top four. But that is our other top four match. Here we have Mermail Atlantean against, Raziel. And pure Raziel is kind of surprising. Everyone seems to be like Fiendsmith Raziel is the stronger version, but time and time again, we see pure Raziel making it this far.
I mean, yeah, I think it comes down to those additional tech choices that we've mentioned earlier. Because your engine is so small, you can consolidate it, and you can just have so many slots for just tackling the matchups that you expect. And it's about calling the right matchups, right? If you can focus down on playing against these matchups and you build for these matchups and you manage to play against the matchups that you want, then you should do extremely well.
Definitely. I mean, well, every time I see the Mermail landing deck, it seems like it's just doing swimmingly, but we're going to have to see if that's going to continue to be the case here in top four. This is when you want your deck to perform its best and not run out of steam, but we're going to have to see. I mean, there's a reason why Manuel and his friend Kevin, both from Switzerland, they committed to traveling all the way here to the tournament, and they both did well. It's not by a chance. There's something they have figured out. They've play tested. They mentioned they went to the Team YCS Vegas. They're at YCS Orlando. They know what they're doing. This is it. It's game one of our first semi-final match here at YCS Houston. And here comes the die roll. I would say this is important, but the Mermail deck seems to be fine going second. 4, not a high number.
That's much higher.
11 is going to win the die roll, but we'll have to see if going first is going to even matter for Aditya.
All right, is there anything before the main phase for Manuel here?
Does he have anything? Any Mulcharmy? Thinking in standby.
Looks like there is something. There is going to be a Perulia.
All right, Mulcharmy. Perulia is going to let him draw every time he summons, but not
no, it will
the
not.
case because of Ash Blossom.
All right, passing it through. No more Mulcharmies here.
Using the Mulcharmy before the main phase, so he won't enable something like Triple Tactics Talent. But Manuel off to a fast start. Special summoning X, Raziel sending Eclipse Twins to the graveyard.
Okay, choosing to send Eclipse Twins because I think we're going to be ignoring Nibiru, the Primal Being here, mainly because he knows that the Mermail Atlantean deck is typically on copies of Dominus Impulse, which also means that they're likely to not have any light monsters in their deck.
True.
At this point, the players definitely know what their opponents are playing.
Oh yeah, for sure. It has been a long tournament. There's only 4 people remaining. The information is pretty well known. Sword Raziel is going to come down next here for Manuel. That's going to let him add Ice Raziel from his hand. The Raziel deck is going to be utilizing rank 4s, as we've seen so much in this format. Now we're going to see an overlay with the 2 level 4 monsters for Raziel Duo Drive.
Duo Drive is activating its effect on field, being able to detach the materials at resolution to add 2 Raziel cards from deck to hand. That's going to be Raziel Cross. And we'll see what his second choice is.
And Plasma Hole. Okay, that's not a card that seems very popular. As I mentioned, they may have figured something out, which is why both of them have made it this far into the tournament. And playing Raziel Plasma Hole might be one of the reasons why.
Initially, when Raziel originally came out, Plasma Hole was a card strategy incorporated to tackle Ultimate Slayer, give you some more insulation for that. When you're able to set up the Plasma Hole in the graveyard, you're able to immediately summon another rank 4 after you lose your detonator.
Yep, definitely an awesome card that fell out of favor, but may be coming back into the fold. We're going to see the 2 level 4 monsters over for Raziel Detonator. On summon, he's going to be able to attach a monster from the graveyard. He's going to attach the Eclipse Twins. And
there is the node here. I imagine he's going to try to use it immediately to summon another level 4 from the graveyard.
Yep, node lets you send a monster to special summon back.
And now he's going to set up that Abyss Dweller.
This is huge. We haven't seen Aditya have to face down Abyss Dweller. It is the bane of Mermail's existence right now. He has the cross, he has the Dweller set up, he has Plasma Hole in hand. Things are looking really good here for Manuel.
Typically, if you can put an Abyss Dweller next to a Raziel Detonator, that usually will seal the deal, especially game 1 when there's not any answers available, because even if he did have Infinite Impermanence, Detonator could chain to destroy his own Dweller to make sure it resolves.
Definitely, and now see him detach the material to activate Dweller's effect, so he's able to put 2 Raziel monsters on the bottom of the deck to draw a fresh card, and I saw what it is. I don't know if you at home did, but it's a good one against Mermail. 3 face downs, Abyss Dweller, Detonator with an Eclipse Twins underneath it. Aditya has his work cut out for him here as he draws for his turn.
Yeah, it's not looking good here in game number 1, if you're Aditya anyway.
Yeah, not yet. The Abyss Dweller, now if this resolves, it's going to be an uphill climb.
It looks like the Dweller will be resolving.
Mermail Atlanteans are heavily dependent on the graveyard effects.
I wonder if Aditya will even choose to play the turn out.
See that cool token that Aditya got at the World Championship this past year. He's going to start things off with 1 for 1.
All right.
He's going to discard the Gluttonous.
Reptile Fin, Grethus.
I'll let you finish it off. I like to call him Gluttonous.
I'm just calling him Grethus usually.
Well, we're two men with 2 different walks of life, I suppose. We're going to have to see how this 1 for 1 is going to help Aditya. He'll be able to access Neptibus, but no
doesn't really do much, right? Yeah. I mean, it still adds to hand, which is fine, but you've already had to spend 2 cards to summon this, and it's not getting all the value that it normally does.
Yeah, if he uses the effect, he will get to add, but the Detonator will be able to take it down. He is going to use the effect, pay the cost.
The reason Mermail is so good is like all these effects are so costly in their nature because they have to send cards from their hand or field to activate, but because the cards in the graveyard have so many effects that trigger, you can often just get so much of that value back. But when you're not getting any of that value, your hand depletes so quickly, and you already start at 5 cards because your Perulia was ashed. So after using 1 for 1, we're really running out of cards here. Looks like we're sending Shrine to the graveyard as cost for Neptibus here.
Okay, putting something in the graveyard that'll be useful during the opponent's turn as opposed to sending down like an Elenian Dragoons that won't do anything. Be able to add the Poseidra. It is a monster we'll be able to summon. We won't be able to get to capitalize really on having to send the monster from the deck as a cost.
At least a form of removal in this instance, but you have to keep in mind, Raziel Cross is standing right there.
So menacingly. It is a menacing field spell card there with Raziel Cross, but we're going to have to see the next move for Aditya. I'm sure he has encountered a few Abyss Dwellers on his way to the top 4.
He might not have, honestly.
That is possible as well. So he's going to go ahead and send the Neptibus to try and special summon Poseidra from the hand. The Storming Atlantean.
He's going to be able to use its effect on the field, send as cost water from the deck.
Try and return a card on Manuel's side of the field to the hand.
I imagine that is going to be negated with cost because it's going to go after the Detonator here, almost certainly.
I'll target Detonator.
Yep, targeting the Detonator. You can opt to destroy it as well if he so chooses. by chaining the effective detonator here.
Looks like that is what he's considering to use its effect.
Yep, detonator is going to target and destroy the Poseidra in response.
Okay. Now it's fine.
And then during the resolution of the chain, he's also going to be detaching for the effective cross.
Sure.
And now Aditya only has 3 cards in hand.
Yep, so he negates the Poseidra, he destroys the Poseidra.
And he still knows about the Plasma Hull, so any monster he puts on the field can be immediately removed.
Activated this Teus.
There's Teus, and again, that's so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with the Mermail decks is they're very costly to use all their effects, but you're usually getting returns on the cards you're sending to the graveyards as cost. But with that Abyss Dweller being active, it just isn't going to allow him to replenish his resources.
Teus on summon will still be able to add a level 4 lower Mermail.
Oh, yeah.
The Teus is resolving now.
Going to be able to add a Mermail from the deck to the hand. Maybe he's going to go for like Shadow Squad. Oh no, it's going to be an Abyss Shrine.
Another Abyss Shrine. That is another effective way to summon another important monster here, namely being Coelacanth, but I don't know if he has enough cards in hand to really get enough value from it. Yep, he's going to use the Shrine, sending Dragoons here.
Aditya down to no cards in hand. I think Manuel will activate the card he drew, and it's called by the grave. And that is going to be enough to seal the deal. Manuel's going to take game number 1 behind a strong turn 1 hand, and just the knowledge of how to play it.
I mean, generally, when Ryziel is able to go first and set up the Dweller along with the Detonator, it's usually very quick work against Mermail Atlantean. That was, I think, the reason why a lot of players were so against trying Mermail Atlantean in the beginning of the format after these cards came out, because they were just under the assumption that the Dweller invalidated the whole strategy. Now, as time has gone on, we've seen that there are so many situations that put the pressure on Ryziel to even be able to make the Dweller, and it's not nearly that simple, but in this situation, it just was.
Yeah, I mean, Aditya had the Mulcharming Brilliant where he might have been able to draw into more cards and push through. But I think, like we even saw earlier, if one of the other players that lost to Aditya in our previous feature match had pushed through the Mulcharming Falls, he would have to give him a few extra cards, but still been able to go into Abyss Dweller. No matter how many cards they have, sometimes that's just enough. But we're going to have to see if that's going to play out any differently. I am excited about this game because all the times I feel like we have featured Mermail Atlantean, they have been going second. They've gone second in game 1, won game 1, and gone second in game 2, and ended up winning that game. But now we're going to get to see what this deck does going first.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do to immediately stop all their plays as you can with all the other decks, right? Apulia is so strong against something like the Ryziel strategy where they have to give you several draws in order to make a lot of their Xyz monsters. And then you have Lancia against Malice can really shut it off. And as well, Dimension Shifter is really the only card that can shut off the Mermail Atlantean's turn if it's able to go first. And that is not a card that you typically see in Ryziel anymore.
Yeah, I mean, even cards like Mulcharming Fuwalos could probably be pretty impactful against the Mermail strategy. But yeah, not going to be able to stop them from doing all their plays. But you'll at least be able to stymie what their end goal will eventually be, potentially.
Yeah, they can get so much value outside of that they don't necessarily have to dig that deep in the extract. I think Drone Lockbird could also find a lot of value.
Depending on how the hand works or how they start with, for sure. Now, the downside to going first with the Mermail strategy, which I'm assuming maybe you side out some copies, is the new Poseidra, the Stormy Atlantean. It really shines at going second, but not as impactful going first, because it needs, in order to be able to send a card from the deck as cost, it needs something to return on the opponent's side of the field. But it still can use the special summon effect on your turn going first. We've seen that all weekend where you're able to send the Neptibus, special summon the Poseidra, the Neptibus special summons back another monster, and it's a way to get level 7s onto the field so you can go into your rank 7s and take off from there.
Yeah, really a perfect replacement for Abyss Megalo in the deck.
Nothing will ever replace Abyss Megalo. Now, don't let me ever hear you say that again, Asala.
I'm sorry.
That's my man. Or shark, fish thing.
It's a Megalo.
It's a Megalo.
Yeah.
But yeah, Abyss Megalo not going to be in Aditya's deck, but that trophy is in his eyesight. He wants to win again. He isn't a YCS champion. He did win the NAWCQ, and we're going to have to find out if he can bounce back here in game number 2 and take down Manuel in his Ryziel deck.
We've talked about how strong Mermail Atlantean can be at going first, so we'll just have to see if he sees those powerful openings.
Yeah, there's a lot he can do. It's going to depend on what Manuel has. I might have seen a Mulcharmy. It is. It's
There's
Fualos.
Yeah, Fualos in the draw phase here. Will there be a response from Aditya?
I guess we now get to see the answer to the question if Fualos is enough to slow down the Mermails, or if they'll be able to keep on swimming through it. Oh, he has the Ash Blossom.
None of these cards will resolve.
Am I playing Master Duel? It feels
Yeah.
that's what it feels like every time you activate Maxi and Master Duel. There's always an Ash Blossom, and then he's going to follow up that Ash Blossom with Neptibus, Prince of the Atlanteans.
Really strong normal summon here. Neptibus is going to be able to activate sending for cost. Will he send squad or will he send dragoons?
If he's able to send for cost to add an Atlantean, and then that's going to trigger the effect of the monster that he sends. He's going to send Shadow Squad. That's going to let him special summon a monster from his deck.
It looks like it will be resolving as well, so dragoons will be added to hand and squad will be activating now, probably summoning Abyss Pike. Abyss Pike is going to be able to activate, sending the dragoons to add a level 3 water. Likely going to be that Abyss Shrine. Oh, no, it looks like we're eyeing Deep Sea Minstrel. So we can also just grab the Shrine later.
If dragoons can add a Sea Serpent. Looks like he may want to take a peek at Manuel's hand before he advances his turn any further. The Atlantean Dragoons is going to trigger to add... Oh, he's adding the Minstrel off the pike because it's a level 3.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
And now the Dragoons is going to add...
Yes. Thinking on the search target.
Yeah, he's considering his options here. He doesn't want to make any mistakes at this point in the tournament, right? You're feeling the pressure. You're in the top 4. You're already down a game. But
It's
this
not
is
where you want to be exactly, but you just got to keep your head above water.
Yep.
This is a great position to be in when you're able to resolve Minstrel after already taking a card out of your opponent's hand with the Fualos being ashed. Manuel, body language alone, just telling you he's not very excited about this game.
Hand on head, usually a key indicator of weakness. Or boredom.
Sure, he sees the game already over.
I think it's fair that Aditya, had his Mulcharmy in game 1. That got Ash Blossom. Manuel has a Mulcharmy in game 2. Aditya had his turn to have Ash Blossom. But now he's going to I talked about it. Send the Neptibus and summon the Poseidra. This has been the bread and butter of the Mermail Atlantean strategy all weekend. So he can get the 2 level 4s on the field and then go into Bahamut Shark, detaching Atlantean Dragoons, special summon. Totally awesome. Yeah, shout outs to my friends in Germany. My one particular friend who I think loves Totally Awesome. Ugh, bad memories for me. Actually, some of the greatest memories I have, TBH. But that's neither here nor there. Now we're in 2025, not 2016, and Totally Awesome is on the field.
I need you to stay with me, Billy. Don't get too distracted.
I'm focused. I'm locked in, Asala. This is the top 4. I'm not going anywhere.
Interesting that he opted to use this extension line instead of opting for the Minstrel. I think he saw that if he Minstrels, he would not have access to Mullen Glacier, and he had the soul read that his opponent would not have a Nibiru the Primal Being. Either that or he just knows by now that it's not in his opponent's deck.
All right, now we're going to link away the Bahamut and the Poseidra for...
Coral Anemone.
Yep.
So in the graveyard...
Very good card for water decks.
Yep, summoning back any water monster with 1500 or less attack from the graveyard. It's going to be able to summon back that Shadow Squad.
5 waters.
And now it looks like there are 5 in the graveyard. Mullen Glacier is going to hit the field, take away 2 more cards from Manuel's hand.
We are no longer in the shallow end. We have swam over to the deep end. Manuel is treading water now that he loses 2 cards from his hand. The Totally Awesome is on the field thanks to Bahamut Shark. And there goes X-Raziel and Sword Raziel, I believe.
It was another Raziel. I couldn't tell what exactly it was.
It was ice. It was ice. It was nice.
And now we're linking away the Anemone as well as the Shadow Squad. Oh, the Abyss Keeper.
Okay.
He must have drawn Coelacanth.
The Abyss Keeper is going to allow him to special summon a fish from his hand.
Yep. Namely, this only happens when you have the Coelacanth in your hand. Coelacanth is able to discard a card now. It's going to discard the Minstrel.
And we get to see Coelacanth resolve. It's not 2010. It's 2025. And this super ancient deep sea fish is going to summon more fish from the deck to the field. I told you, we're in the deep end now. We're going about as deep as you can go into the water, into the depths.
I mean, I think we're deep enough that the game should already be over. Manuel's just sitting there letting it happen.
Hand on head.
And they have plenty of time. I suppose he might as well see what other cards are in Aditya's strategy. He might also trying to figure out if there's also the barrier statue in his deck. Normally when Moaning Glacier hits the field, it's only one or the other. But he wants to see the remainder of Aditya's extra deck here.
Looks like he's considering summoning the Gluttonous Fish, so he'll have access to synchro plays. And that is indeed what is happening.
So now filling up the field here. Wants to try to remove the Moaning Glacier as a liability before like potentially linking away and not having a battle phase next turn. We're going to be synchro summoning the Monoceros here. Monoceros is going to be able to special summon back
Target the fish in my grave.
a fish, so it's going to go after the Abyss Pike and then copy its level. So they're going to be 2 level 4 monsters.
Again! He's going to make a Bahamut Shark again!
Very typical for this deck.
Again! And now he's overlaying those two for
Oh no, he's leaving us level,
level
oh,
7.
No, yes, he's going for level 7 here.
Target
And now we're going
this is even better. He's still going to make another Bahamut Shark again. But he's going to have some more value along the way. All right, here comes the Bahamut Shark.
Going to be detaching Dragoons once again. How many times can you resolve? How many times can you resolve Dragoons? Tell me.
Two totally awesomes, 2 cards ripped from the hand thanks to Manuel and Glacia. We talked about how Mermellanian's been doing well going second all day. Well, it does even better when it gets the opportunity to go first like that, thanks to multiple copies of Bahamut Shark.
Summon Manuel Abyss Elysium.
Abyss Glacier is coming down next. That'll be useful. Usually it's useful to ditch Atlantean monsters from your hand during your opponent's turn. So you trigger something like Atlantean Heavy Infantry so you can destroy a face-up card on your opponent's side of the field.
You basically want to have 2 forms of ways to discard from your hand. So you want to have access to infantry and access to way to discard Neptibus to get Poseidon on the field to also go after your opponent's field. So you'll have a bounce and a destroy as well as draw set up on your opponent's turn along with everything that's already there.
All right, so Metaltron is starting out to target Totally Awesome, one of the Totally Awesomes, and that's
They have another Ash.
Ash Blossom, and yeah, Manuel's seen enough. He forgot to take swimming lessons before that game, and now he is going to be diving into his side deck as he prepares to go first in game number 3. But Aditya saying, yeah, you might win game number 1, but now that I get to go first, I get to have access to my side deck. I'm not going down without a fight.
I mean, it's just so impressive what the deck can do going first, right? Once you're able to get past that checkpoint of resolving Neptibus, it just seems like there's nothing that you can do to stop it anymore.
Yeah, the tide just grows stronger and stronger with each and every play. But, you know, it was played really well there from Aditya. There wasn't a lot of thinking. It's something that he seems like he knows this deck in and out.
I mean, he took a moment to pause there to really consider if he wanted to activate Minstrel, if it was worth it, and he had the read that he didn't need to respect Nibiru in this situation, and he needed to set up the Moaning Glacier, so he opted to make that choice and was rewarded for it.
Can't get no respect for Nibiru around here, but, you know, that's not exactly the card that we've seen a lot of this weekend. It's kind of fallen out of favor as the cycle of Yu-Gi-Oh! Interactions kind of goes, that some events that Nibiru will be in everyone's decks, and others it'll kind of slowly start to fade out, especially with the increase in play and something like Dominus Impulse that cuts you off from light effects. We've seen a heavy decrease on players using Nibiru the Primal Being if you're able to utilize something like Dominus Impulse in your deck, as Mermails are.
Definitely one of those cards that comes in and out of formats here. The less it's respected, usually that's when it starts coming back, right? Because you can start punishing players because of the lack of respect. But for now, it seems like we're still on that area where it's not getting the value that it needs, because usually Nibiru by itself is not strong enough against any of these decks.
You know, if I was in the tournament playing Mermellanian, I'd be shuffling up for game 3. I'd look at my opponent, I'd just give him a quick dun-nut, 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 dun-nut.
It's a good thing you're here with me.
Yeah, it is a good thing I am here with you. And I get to be here with all the awesome duelists watching at home, trying to find out who is going to win YCS Houston. What deck is it going to be? Will it be Raziel taking it, or will one of these other decks, I mean, it could be Atlantean Mermail, or it could be Goblin Biker Memento. I would never have predicted this top 4. I may have said like half win Raziel. I would assume one maybe being a Fiendsmith, but no Malice. Instead, we have Atlantean Mermail, Goblin Bikers, and a couple of Raziel decks. only ones remaining in this tournament.
I mean, I would have believed you if you told me there would be 2 rises. I would have definitely believed you if you told me there would have been a Mermail 19, but I would have never expected the Goblin Memento.
Yeah, Pascal really putting on a clinic with that deck this weekend. And if he had lost, it would have been Labyrinth in the top 4. It was so close. That match was a good one, but Pascal was able to take that. But now we are here in game number 3 of our first semifinal match. The decks are shuffled. The side decks have been utilized. We're mere moments away.
I mean, Manuel still doesn't seem so confident. The head is still heavy. But he is able to go first now, and all he has to do is try to set up a Dweller again. But Aditya will have potentially more answers in things like Xyz Encore.
Yeah, that's the big difference when after diving into the side decks is there's definitely cards in the side deck that will target down Abyss Dweller because they know that is what the players are going to try and go into before anything else to make sure they can cut off those all-important graveyard effects. But this is it. This is our first semifinal match. Game 3, the winner of this game wins the match and we'll move on to the finals.
Our first finalist
of YCS Houston. Not Houston to all you New York folk out there. I know you have your Houston Street, but no, it's Houston down here in Texas.
I would have never known that.
Soho? No. Bonfire coming down here from Manuel. A good start. Ash Blossom immediately met with Aditya.
Oh, taking the gamble there.
Not saving it for the duo drive. He's trying to say, I don't think you have any Raziel monsters. Potted Desires is up next.
I mean, that is technically a sign of weakness, but it can easily reward you here.
Will he draw any Raziel monsters? He has to banish the 10 cards face down on top of his deck. So he's a check the banish before draw player, I see. I feel like there's 2 different schools of duelists. Okay, that's not a Raziel monster. Oh, that one is. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, well, I won't spoil it. He did draw something that play will continue this turn.
We've seen a lot of it happen where the plays have not been able to continue, but
What happens when water gets cold?
He gets the ice.
It turns to ice. Ice Raziel is coming down. It's water frozen. And now Ice Raziel is going to special summon a Raziel monster from the deck, and it's going to be the sword.
Looks like it's going to be Sword Raziel. Did we check to see if he had Raziel monsters left in his deck beyond that?
I saw his Desires Banish pile, and there was barely any Raziel names. I saw the Plasma Hall, but I didn't see much.
You know, I think he'll live without it.
Yeah, I think
many players have.
All right, here comes Duo Drive. Ash Blossom's gone. The Duo Drive resolves. Aditya took the big gamble. Usually when you Ash Blossom something like Bonfire, that's kind of signaling your hand might be weak. You don't have any other forms of interaction, so you're just kind of gambling and hoping they don't have anything else to play with after that. It's a tall order, but sometimes pays off.
Looks like we're just going to go for the Node as well as the Raziel Cross. Going to activate the Raziel Cross here. And now we're going to be special summoning the Node.
Node Raziel is going to send Duo Drive to the graveyard to try and special summon back Sword Raziel. Aditya picks up his hand and takes a look, but no cards are going to be played.
It's very interesting. We haven't used X Raziel yet. We haven't really... I wonder if we have enough ways to extend here to get to Dweller. Like, yeah, he has to consider this. Is he going to summon the Detonator?
He was looking at Exciton, but...
That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, no,
okay,
it is Abyss Dweller. This is the key point in the match. Will the Abyss Dweller be enough?
Okay, so here is the X Raziel. We're opting to summon the Dweller first. It looks like we still might have the ability to extend here. We're going to be able to send the Eclipse Twins.
I had Detonator in my hand.
He didn't play the Detonator.
Well, you have to commit to the Detonator.
No, I don't think he put the Detonator down.
Was the Detonator ever on the field?
No. I saw him just moving the cards in the deck to the ground while he was trying to decide. I don't think it ever touched down on the field.
Oh, well, it looks like...
I mean, I guess he did put the Detonator down.
And it looks like we're activating the Detonator to attach Ice Raziel. Will we be continuing further with our turn?
I might have to go back and watch that one. But I think he'll still find a way to get to the Abyss Dweller just fine.
Yeah, so now we're going to be using X Raziel. Will we still be sending Eclipse Twins? We are activating the X Raziel on the field to be able to add...
He sword. And he hasn't special sword yet, yeah. So he's just fine this way.
This is fine. Yeah, okay. Nothing off.
No harm, no foul. Detonator Dweller on the field just like it would have been, just reversed.
Right.
I think he was just doing it the other way so he'd have proper materials that he wanted under detonator.
Right, and then potentially to get the draw as well.
Yeah, he would have the Eclipse Twins under the detonator.
So a little worse here, but still achieving the goal of getting the Dweller on the field. He's considering detaching to get the extra draw here by putting back the Duo Drive now that the Eclipse Twins is in the graveyard. It's not going to be actually live.
Cross for 2.
So now we're putting the 2 cards back. Can we draw another good card here? Looks like we're going to set a couple, or 3 even, 2 of the spells and traps before we pass on over to Aditya. Double checking all his cards real quick before doing so. And yep, there is a passive turn. Aditya has a lot to handle here. Again, facing down the Detonator as well as the Abyss Dweller, as well as the Rise Yield Cross. Will he have an answer at all?
Does Aditya have Xyz's Encore?
It's the only card that'll really do it here, and even then it doesn't seal the game for you. You still have to deal with the Cross and the Detonator.
Yeah, it is just step 1. Yeah. But he needs that step 1 to get to step 2.
He's considering his options here.
He does have it. He has Xyz's Encore.
Thinking on target.
Thinking on target. Oh, what do you mean thinking on target? What is Aditya cooking? What is going on? I'm so excited to see how this turn's going to play out. We have a game, folks.
Is Xyz's Encore once per turn?
It's been a while. I'd have to pull up the card text on that one to see if it was once per turn. I've only ever used it once on Ophion, so I don't know if I ever needed the second one. Let's go ahead and pull up the card text real fast.
It doesn't look like it.
Okay, it's not once per turn, so he could have 2.
I mean, either way, you have to go for the Dweller first, not give your opponent any window here. I mean, you could just chain both, I guess. Oh, chaining Dweller?
No, he picked the Dweller.
He picked the Dweller. Okay, I'm very confused there.
So now he's going to summon back Sword Raziel, thinks Xyz's Encore.
That's fine.
All right, now can we do it again to really simplify this game?
Sure.
Excuse me? Sorry? Thank you.
Is he activating the effect of Sword?
We got to get... Oh, never mind. That'll be something I can talk about in the future, but we are in the present right now. He's going to go Deep Sea Mitchell, discard Dragoons.
That's pretty good.
There is a card in his hand he does need to take out. It's the card I was talking about last game that we thought people weren't playing, but maybe they're just not drawing it. This is prompting a deep think here from Manuel. This is game 3, a lot on the line here.
A deep think for the Deep Sea.
This decision could determine...
Oh, he's doing the actual thing, the fingers on the head.
All right, he's going to let him take a peek.
I mean,
Nibiru, Bonfire, and X. I mean,
I'll take away Nibiru.
You have to take away the Nibiru, right? Like, the only card that really matters here.
it's only for the turn. Dragoons is going to let him add if there is no response from Manuel. Something like Call by the Grave again would be huge.
He can use Cross.
Oh, he could use Cross also. But Call by the Grave would like last through the remainder of the turn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Call by the Grave. That would make this really simple.
All right, so he's going to detach for Cross, so Atlantean Dragoon's effectively negated. So Aditya's going to need more cards to progress this turn. Does he have Neptibus?
Poseidra.
It's
Poseidra.
Poseidra. This is last cards.
Okay, is that good enough? I mean, he can send another copy of Dragoons here to get rid of the Detonator, and it will get rid of the Detonator because now that Cross is gone.
Click the Poseidra. Cost.
On summon, pays the cost. He's going to be able to return a card on Manuel's side of the field to his hand. Surely going after this Detonator.
Really considering what he has to send down. I mean, the only 2 options are Dragoons and Shadow Squad at this point, right? But, or...
Looks like he's thinking of...
what does Dragoons do from this point on? You would Dragoons
Shadow
for...
Cost.
Oh, no, going for Shadow Squad, targeting the Detonator. Is there a response from Manuel here? We're going to be chaining the Detonator to try to destroy the Poseidra.
And then he has another chain. It's infinite permanence.
Oh, that's going to keep the detonator on the field. That's
Sorry.
huge.
Yep.
Aditya out of cards in hand. I think there's one material left under detonator.
That makes sense. One from Cross, one from Detonator's effect here
Special summon like this.
have been used.
And he's
then
going to
Book a Moon on summon.
This is the one card that's really good against Neptibus. He's going to book a Moon it before he can send it as a cost. Aditya has nothing left.
Moons control the tides.
They do indeed, and the tide is coming up shallow here in Game 3 for Aditya. He had the Encore, but not enough to push through all the other cards. And we know the other two cards in the hand are Bonfire and X Raziel. Those are some good cards to have for Raziel player.
The game is over. He has no other cards to play with.
I
All he has
think-
to do is pass turn.
I think Aditya has run out of water and time.
Yeah.
Just checking the stats on that card real quick. During the end phase, Minstrel will give
draw
back
phase.
the Nibiru to Manuel's hand, and then we're drawing for turn.
Turn.
The rest is just a formality at this point.
Yeah, we are moments away from seeing Manuel find his way into the finals. Thanks to Book of Moon.
We're going to be starting with X Raziel, sending another copy of Eclipse Twins to the graveyard here.
When I activate X effect.
Then we're going to be using, I believe, both effects here. I think he's just making sure that he
Yeah,
can even
X
resolve X Raziel. Yep,
You
just making
can't
sure to check
activate
before making
So
the legal
level
activation.
3.
It's level 3 right now.
It's level 3. You can't activate it. All right.
Yes, so the sword that got summoned back from Xyz's Encore is a level less than what it originally was.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
he won't
fair.
be able to add.
It's a level 3 monster.
We're issuing a few minor weekly.
Yeah.
We received the minor.
Yeah.
Slight warning there for making a legal activation,
For
but I
not,
mean,
communicating. Yeah.
Yep, just gonna get a minor warning for an illegal activation. It happens. No big deal.
it makes a lot of sense here in this situation. I don't think you're too worried about it.
He will be able to continue his plays.
Yep, so now the Eclipse Twins is able to resolve. I believe there are enough targets in the graveyard because there are... Actually, there might not be. It's just 2 Eclipse Twins and... Oh, there's 2 Eclipse Twins and Duo Drive, so you can put it on the Duo Drive.
Is there? Oh yeah, because the Duo Drive got sent from the Node Raziel on the previous turn.
The Duo
Yep.
Drive was properly summoned.
Indeed it was. No, don't do this to us. We're so close to the finish line.
I mean, if Aditya was looking for an out...
Man, this was a good Game 3, though. I mean, that's the thing. Even though you deal with the Dweller, Raziel's able to put up so much onto the field. Like, having the Detonator, the Cross, the Imperm, the Book of Moon. I mean, it really came down to that. It came down to the Pot of Desires. Sure,
Yeah.
I could see Manuel's hand. And he bonfired, it got ashed. If this Pot of Desires didn't get him any Raziel cards, he was going to be able to set Book of Moon, Imperm, and have some defensive
But that was
options.
never going to be enough.
Yeah, never. He needed way more than that, and the Desires got there. And I mean, I talked about that's one of the big advantages of pure Raziel over Fiendsmith Raziel is you do get high-impact spell cards like Pot of Desires. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Pot of Greed. This card allows me to draw 2 cards from my deck and add it to my hand.
Yeah, ideally, he led with Bonfire because he wanted to get the Raziel cards out of his deck. He wanted to get the 1-ofs out, the Cross, the Node. But in situations when you don't have access to any of those cards, you will take the risk because you'd rather have the option to play than not.
Definitely. All right, looks like we're just double-checking, make sure that PE minor didn't get upgraded, make sure he hasn't been using that same penalty throughout the tournament. Nope, this was the first time. No upgrade here.
Looks
Play
like-
will proceed.
No Eclipse Twins effect, it seems. We're going to be activating the Bonfire now. Going to be able to grab Ice Raziel.
Normal summon Ice Raziel is going to be able to special summon a Raziel monster from the deck.
I wonder if he has a Node Raziel still in the deck here. It would be very useful, able to just send the sword. Oh no, we're going to just be summoning away another X Raziel here.
The drain has been opened. The water is gone. All there is now is lightning and electrifying excitement from the Raziel side.
He has to find the damage at this point. Oh, it looks like he has plugin set as well. That will make things a little easier as far as finding the damage. We're going to overlay the 2 X Raziels here. For Raziel Duo Drive. Duo Drive is going to potentially use its effect to attach if there is a Raziel in the graveyard. There is. Looks like we're not doing that. We're going to put the sword into attack mode. So all his Xyz monsters are getting plus 200 attack. So it's 15, 17. Oh, okay, we just have to get over the Neptune. I almost forgot that was there.
I mean, you might as well have. It wasn't doing much.
I mean, blocking an attack here was pretty relevant. Aditya doesn't know about the plugin.
Oh, yeah, because there's so many one cards he can draw off the top of his deck that are going to get him back into this game.
Hey, man. Look.
Hey, it's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
You have to believe in the heart of the cards, because if not, what else are you going to believe in?
So it was 27 after the fact with the duo drive.
Okay, so I will attack with 19. Then I will activate
All right,
plugin.
Plug-in activated here. I mean, this is the big thing. A lot of people aren't playing plug-in and Plasma Hull, but Manuel has decided to use them in his pure Raziel strategy, and that might be why he is on his way to the finals.
Plugin just giving the extra material to the duo drive here, so it's even stronger.
Yeah. And just so you know, every time that there's a PE minor given, especially at this late stage in the game when there's been so many rounds, you always have to verify to make sure it shouldn't be upgraded, because the judge who initially gave those warnings, you don't want to make sure it's the same warning over and over again, as I explained earlier, but you want to make sure it doesn't get upgraded. And that's why, you know, the head judge had to explain to both players that it's not being upgraded because he hasn't committed that same infraction previously in the tournament. Patience is key. We waited for it, and now Manuel, all the way from Switzerland, is now in the finals of YCS Houston. Unfortunately, Aditya just came up just short, but big congratulations to Manuel, our first finalist of YCS Houston.
Playing a lot of the classics in the pure Raziel strategy, all the way from their initial release back in like YCS Anaheim, having the plug-in, the Plasma Hull, getting value out of those cards.
Yeah, they really, I mean, their decks and the way they built it is the reason why Manuel has made it this far. I mean, the key card in that game that really sealed the deal, Book of Moon, Bouche de Mons, is that the way?
Yeah.
Libra de Luna?
Yes.
Yes, I
Libra
mean,
de Luna.
we got them all day. Book of Moon, an oldie but a goodie, one of my favorite cards, and it is still paying dividends for duelists today. I mean, being able to put the Neptune's face down before he could use the effect, fantastic. Which is, it's all like so funny, because if you look at the old Mermail deck, Book of Moon would have been one of the most useless cards against that strategy, as you know, with cards like Atlantean Marksman being able to take out face downs along the way. But that's not the same Atlantean Mermail deck we've seen here since Supreme Darkness and Rage of the Abyss gave them so many powerful cards. And Aditya did wonderful, still made it to top 4. But just short of where he wants. I know a player like Aditya isn't going to be satisfied with the top 4 finish, but you still have to congratulate yourself and realize you did the best you could. You played well all tournament, but sometimes you're just going to come up short, and that's just how Yu-Gi-Oh goes.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen how the game's evolved several times. You talk about how Book of Moon used to be worse against the Mermail deck, but the Mermail deck has changed so much, and Book of Moon, its role has stayed the same. It's able to be so strong against these strategies that need to just resolve one monster, but if it doesn't happen on summon, that's one of the few cards that can tackle it.
It definitely is, especially when backed up by cards like Infinite Impermanence and the Raziel Cross. He used his interruptions in the perfect way. He was able to navigate despite that Xyz Encore. And I mean, Aditya had a good hand with Xyz Encore and plays to continue, but Manuel did not get discouraged. He didn't give up and found a way to make it all the way to the finals. I mean, we expected Raziel. We didn't know if it was going to be Fiendsmith or Pure, but here it is, Pure Raziel using 3 copies of all the Raziel monsters. Really focus on that main strategy.
Yeah, and potentially playing against a perfect mirror match in the finals against another Switzerland player.
I mean, that like never happens. So like 2 players like come with the same deck and end up making the finals. I mean, a lot has to go right. Not only do you have to beat all your opponents, you have to be placed on like separate sides of that top cut bracket.
Exactly.
And then you have to defeat incredible duelists all along the way. I'm sure that they would love to face each other in the finals, because no matter who wins, they win. Like, I mean, they won
one
the
of them
tournament.
will win, right?
They're going to go home together happy. I mean, I've played friends in the finals. It's a lot of fun, and it's great things that you can rub in their face for years to come. But
oh yeah, if they play in the finals, the winner of that will never let the other one live it down.
Never. No matter how much time. These YCS wins don't expire, that's for sure. But it's been an excellent tournament so far. I mean, and it's lived up to the hype that I had coming into it. I mean, we've seen Tombkeeper, Mermail Atlantean, definitely a deck that I thought might make the finals. We really, after top 8, thought maybe this was Aditya's tournament to win. Came so close, but unfortunately just short.
Yeah, and then I think Goblin Memento does have a good chance of playing in strictly to a Ryziel matchup, mainly because of those Goblin cards.
I mean, he's going to have to defeat the same deck basically 2 rounds in a row as he's going to take on the other player from Switzerland, and that's going to be the match we're going to have it coming up next. But first, I think Jackie's standing by with our winner for an interview, so go ahead and take it away, Jackie.
Thanks, Billy and Asala. All right, crowd, let's hear it for Manuel going to the finals. Oh my goodness, I can see you're all smiles. Tell me what's going through your head right now.
I can't explain. I'm just super nervous.
Nervous? Why? You're doing fantastic.
Yeah, I nearly messed up now because I was so nervous. But yeah, I'm trying to calm myself.
It's definitely a grind. What is your mindset moving forward now? I know you're feeling these nerves. How are you going to calm yourself down?
I don't know yet. I just try to relax, and I hope my teammate wins as well, so we can face each other in the finals.
You want to face him in the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So who would win?
Can't tell about that since we.
He's eyeing you over there. I see him.
Yeah. I don't know, but actually I don't care because if we're both in the finals, we already won, and doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, talk to me. You came all the way from Switzerland. Why would winning a YCS in America be a big deal for you?
Just to represent Europe and show that we're the. Sorry for you Americans, but show that we're the better Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Oh, did you hear that crowd talking some smack over here? Oh, no, you're getting booed. I love it. It's too funny. No, we're all friends here. Is there anything that you want to say to the crowd and anything you want to say to the people watching at home?
Yeah, just greet all my friends. Thanks for the support. Thanks to the crowd. And yeah.
Congratulations, Manuel. Fantastic interview. I'm going to send it back to our casters.